good afternoon, good evening, traders from across the globe, and welcome to the 925th edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar Carboni, and that would be me. Good evening, traders. This video is being filmed on Monday evening for Trading Tuesday. That's September 12th. That's September 2nd, 2012. This video is for trading September 2nd, Tuesday, 2012.
It's October.
Is October now? 10 is October, isn't it? Yep. I'm standing there looking at the day. I'm getting the day wrong. I'm getting the month wrong. What year am I in? All right, let's start this over. Traders, this video is being filmed on Monday night for Trading Tuesday, October 2nd, 2012. What is on the board? Well, what we're going to learn about in this video are several things. One, bear flags are still flying all over U.S. indices. Two, how goes Apple? How goes the Apple DAC? That's our nickname for NASDAQ when it becomes Apple's bitch, like it does, 3 times a week. Apple moves, NASDAQ moves with it. So how goes Apple? How goes the NASDAQ? What else is in this video? Soybeans and grains in general are still bearish, and a dip is expected in the S&P, but not a crash. Do not fall in love with the downside, the topics of tonight's videos. Traders, as you know, this video and every other video is about trading futures, and that can be extremely risky and can cause substantial financial loss. Futures trading is not suitable for all trading accounts. You can certainly lose more than you've invested. So if you do not understand this game, if you do not recognize that a stop is your best friend, you should absolutely not be trading futures. But for you cowboys, you omniacs, you traders out there, let's get ready to rumble this evening. Traders, how goes the Apple? How goes the Apple DAC? That's what we call NASDAQ. Why? Because if Apple's up 6 points, NASDAQ's up. I don't care what the other indices are doing. If Apple is down 10 points, NASDAQ's down. I don't care what the other indices are doing. You can have 5 out of 6 indices up, and if Apple is down, NASDAQ is down. That is Apple DAC. That's the name of the NASDAQ. It doesn't belong to itself anymore. It belongs to Apple. Traders, something about Apple. I wasn't really going to get into this. Let me say, I think Apple is a great company that produces great product, and they are king. They're the biggest company in the world. They're sitting on 117 trillion. Let me say it again. They're sitting on 117 billion, not trillion, sorry, $117 billion in cash. All right, they are king. So what does the king do to us little peons? They decide to change their adapters so that now you have to go out and buy new adapters. What worked doesn't work for the phones going forward. That, if you ask me, is Apple starting to nickel and dime us traders. Now listen, Apple's a wonderful darling of Wall Street, but I have a feeling Apple is, now that it's king, it's about to start getting arrows shot at it and bullets shot at it, and it is now going to be attacked. And what it is doing, if you ask me, it's asking us to attack it. When you do something like, I have one of the first iPods that ever existed, that ever existed. My iPod's got a certain adapter that worked for every single iPod all the way up until now. With this new release and this new phone, you cannot use those same adapters with the new phones. That is them nickel and diming us traders. Now what do we do when a company that's holding all the marbles starts crushing us and pushing down on us? They want to nickel and dime us. How fast would you turn from your Apple device to something other than it if you needed to, just to get away from these people? Now, I'm not telling you to do that, and I'm not saying Apple's a bad company. I see things suddenly changing. I see Apple now starting to get a little bit cheap with us, and I see people going, you know what, Apple, enough's enough. Because if you're Google or Facebook or almost any other internet company, you give your stuff out for free, or any of the bigger companies in this country, they're giving their stuff out for free. Now, we're not asking Apple to give things out for free, but do you need to nickel and dime us with $117 billion in the bank? Really? So I'd be very careful if I was the CEO or on the board of that company. I don't know if you see what we're seeing, but that was a little bit stingy and a little bit slighty on your part, Apple, and if you continue to do stuff like that, I assure you we will turn against you. So be careful out there. All right. enough about Apple. It just caught my attention. It's been bothering me for days that they upgraded or changed that adapter. Anyway, so how goes Apple? How goes the NAPLDAQ or the NASDAQ? That is the way it works. NASDAQ has no shot of doing what it wants to do. And that is why you're going to love the chart segment. Because right now, Apple is sitting in a bear flag, in a head and shoulders. Apple does not look good. NASDAQ does not look good. We have a red OMNI for the NQ and the Russell for trading on Tuesday. Soybeans and grains in general are still looking bearish. Yes, there was a bullish report yesterday. Yes, they went up a little bit, but I don't think that means anything because today they came right back down, and I think the grains moved down further. And finally, traders, yes, we expect a dip if one even comes in the emini, S&P, and the NASDAQ. I am fully bullish in my heart and in my mind. My OMNI says, Oscar, there are bear flags, there are bearish indicators, there are bearish formations. You get out in front of that video and you shut that little man up in the back of your head and you tell the people what you see with your eyes. So that's what I'm here to tell you. Doesn't matter that I'm bullish in here and here. The chart says this goes down, it says that goes down, and I believe in the chart. Traders, I'm going to show you some charts right now. In this chart segment, you will see that Apple certainly does look bearish. You will see that the grains, especially soybeans, look bearish, and I will try to explain why. I only expect a dip, and you should not fall in love with the downside of U.S. indices. If you like what you're about to see, come on down to livewithoscar.com, jump into my free trading rooms, and allow me to help you become a better analyst. With no further ado, let's look at some charts.
Traders, Oscar Carboni is holding another OMNI Camp live in Las Vegas. OMNI Camp is an intensive 4-day course taught by the Wall Street whiz Oscar Carboni himself. Oscar has been analyzing markets and trading commodities on and off the New York trading pits for over 30 years. Trading for a living is a very difficult business. Oscar will simplify the process so that you can easily understand and analyze the markets. Classes are limited. For more information, call 702-629-4755. Our phones are staffed 24/7. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. Trading futures is not suitable for all accounts.
Okay, traders, how goes Apple? How goes the NAPLDAQ, as we like to call it, the AppleDAQ, the NAPLDAQ? What's the difference? It's the slave to Apple. Traders, here is your Apple daily bar chart. This is the Apple daily bar. Ever since it put its highs in up here, it created a head and shoulders, and right here is a bear flag in the right shoulder of the head and shoulders. This looks like it wants to pull back a little more. I'm not saying that there's a top in Apple by any means, but it looks like it wants to pull back a little more, and that's what we expect. Now let me show you where it could get down to on the next chart. Traders, looking at this parallel channel, this one in red, you broke through that parallel channel, but simple technical analysis 101. Take a trend line from the lows, go to the next set of lows, extend out. That is your support somewhere in the 630s. That's where it looks like you could get down to if they really want to start to hammer this thing a little bit. Of course, you'll probably find some support across this line here, so you'll find some support, somewhere on the way down. But this and this are almost in the same area. So you should end up coming down here a little bit according to the head and shoulders formation and this bear-looking flag right here in the right shoulder. That is your Apple. How goes Apple? How goes the NASDAQ, right? Well, let's go look at some of our indices now. Here's your Dow Jones Transportation Average. Traders, I cannot become bullish as much as I want to in my heart because look at this, among other things I'm about to show you. The Dow Jones Transportation Average, we know that we were in a big pennant. We know that it had a false breakout up here, and it has broken out to the downside. Since then, it's in some weird bear flag right here. Looks like it wants to go lower. That's the leader of U.S. indices, still pointing lower for Tuesday. So I don't care if my heart is bullish. My chart is not bullish. It's bearish. Traders, NASDAQ. Head and shoulders just like AppleDAQ. Does that surprise you that the Apple and the NASDAQ look exactly the same? Doesn't surprise me. This is Apple's bitch. All right, so here you are. You have your parallel channel. You fall out of the parallel channel. You put in a right shoulder, and inside of the right shoulder, a perfect symmetrical bear flag forms. A head and shoulders with the bear flag in the right shoulder. I cannot go bullish, traders. I'd love to get bullish, but how do you go bullish when I'm in front of a camera showing you something like this? The upright head and shoulders is bearish. The bear flag is bearish. Getting below that channel is bearish. How on earth do I get bullish? NASDAQ is bearish. Apple looks bearish. I'm calling for the downside again on Tuesday. Then there is the Russell. Traders, the E-mini Russell. Once again, head and shoulders upright, which is bearish. This is a textbook bear flag right here. I mean, go pull your daily Russell chart. On my machine, it's the ETF Z12. You pull your daily Russell. This is what should be in the textbook when you look under bear flag. You look under bear flag, it should show the one that's built right now in your Russell, because that is picture perfect. Bear flags are bearish. Upright head and shoulders are bearish. We expect a little bit more of a pullback before this pullback comes to an end. Then you have soybeans away from the indices, off to the grains. Traders, the soybeans looking weak. If you ask me, we are going to end up down here at some point this week if it doesn't happen on today, on Tuesday. So, down here we should go minimum, and that's somewhere around 1,500. I think we go lower than that, but that's what we're looking at in the next couple of days. And then you have corn, traders. I've told you about this for weeks now, that corn looks like it's topped out. So far it has stayed within my topping tool. The only thing it's done is expand one rung only. It's still very round, very symmetrical, still very topping. Corn looks like it topped out. We would be selling rallies in corn, selling rallies in beans, and possibly in wheat as well. Traders, pull your own charts, do your own homework. Go look at your indices and look at that Apple chart. So, traders, you've seen the charts, and there is my technical argument for why we have the red Omni for the NASDAQ, the Russell, for U.S. indices. Now, we always trade with stops. We know a stop is our best friend. The charts are bearish, but, in my heart, I'm bullish here. So, boy, oh boy, stops are important tomorrow. Make sure your stops are in. Make sure you put them in first. Make sure you come on down to livewithoscar.com. Sit with me in my live trading rooms and allow me to keep you calm, keep you collect, and teach you how to analyze markets. That should help you be a much better trader. If you'd like to analyze markets with me personally, you have two opportunities this October. October 26th through 29th is my Omni Camp. That is mine. I host it myself. It is a 4-day training session where I only choose a handful of traders from around the world. Only 5 or 6 of you total get to stay with me, and it's for 4 straight days. That is October 26th through 29th. If you're interested, come on down to livewithoscar.com and fill out your OmniCamp applications. There is another way that you can get with me this October. It is the Meta Stock Conference. It's being held at the Monte Carlo Hotel here in Vegas, and that's the 13th and 14th. It's a Saturday and Sunday. That's 2 weeks from now, traders. Make sure you're there. If you like Metastock, if you want to meet me and a bunch of other speakers, come down to the Metastock Conference. If you'd like to spend 4 days with me alone, that's your OmniCamp ticket, baby. You come on down for that. All right, traders, I want to get back into my trading room as soon as possible.
Before you go, man, what's with that beard?
What's with the beard? Again, I'm glad you noticed. You see this? You see the roughness, traders? Listen. I'm going to keep this beard until the NASDAQ cracks that bear flag and breaks. I am not shaving until we get out of this area. Because I'll tell you what, Omni wants to flip-flop. I'm not shaving. I know we're getting out of this area, and I'm not moving until that bear flag pays. And I think it's going to pay. Omni thinks it's going to pay, and I'm not shaving until it does. All right, OmniX, I'll see you later. Remember, keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do to help yourselves with that is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Yeah, rock and roll. That is video 925, and we're waiting for the bear flags to pay off. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.